Welcome back to One-Footed Phoenix. If it's your first time with us, I hope you enjoy your time with the Phoenix family today. Before we get into today's video, I have a very important announcement to make, and that is the fact that I got into my prosthetic leg! If you guys haven't seen the short that released this week on Wednesday, definitely go check it out because it's a short of me walking for the first time in several months. If you enjoy this video, I encourage you to smash that like button and make sure that others can find the video too. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've done a lot of contemplation on, and something that's recently come up in my life is the fact that PTSD is a big deal in my life right now. And realizing that I have PTSD and working through it is something that has been very prevalent in my life. So I've done a lot of contemplation and a lot of preparation for this video. So I really hope that you guys can take something inspiring and hopeful from today's video. So first, let's start off with what is PTSD. PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's something that was first discovered in soldiers when they went to war and experienced horrible traumatic things and came back with this disorder called PTSD. And so to have something that soldiers of war come back with, it's almost like, wow, like I've really have been through something traumatic, and it can be very dark and very alone to go through. And for me, it definitely has been. There has been those moments where it's been pretty dark and pretty alone. I think, like the title of this video, it's really important to highlight that a lot of times amputees do have PTSD, and it's a hidden struggle of being an amputee. For me, is all of the mental things that happen up here that people don't see and that people are unaware of, is all of the mental trauma that I've been through. I think one of the most healing realizations was that some of my PTSD did come from having a mission president that didn't deal with my injuries in a correct way. In fact, he dealt with them in quite an astounding and inappropriate way. I was hit by a car back in 2018. And this was while I was serving my mission with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I still attend the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm still a very faithful member of the church, but I'm sharing this so that others know what I've been through and so that others can find strength in what I've been through. Because this leader did not treat this situation like he should have. And what ended up happening is I was called a lazy missionary because I was in pain. And I had my crutches taken away 3 days after being hit by the car. And after that, it was a constant struggle and a battle with them to say, like, hey, this still hurts. And I'm supposed to go to a specialist, and like I couldn't get sent back to a specialist doctor, and it was just handled so poorly. And a lot of my PTSD comes from the fact that this was handled so poorly, because perhaps if it was handled correctly, I may not have lost my leg. And so I think that's where the seriousness of it comes in, is realizing, like, if he would have responded differently, I may or may not have lost my leg. I was not deserving of a lot of the things that he said about me as a missionary, and still to this day, he denies a lot of what happened. He says that I tried to run on my severely sprained ankle when literally all I was trying to do was exercise like they told me to. And so it was like 2 or 3 steps before it was like, ah! And my entire leg was just screaming in pain. And there was just so many other things that were awful that should have just been handled so much better than they were. So I found myself in this situation of having a juxtaposition between hope and anger, and I have been in this state of juxtaposition between hope and anger for a really long time, actually. And sometimes it makes it super difficult to go to church, and it makes it super difficult to want to believe and stay believing. But the reason that I stayed was not because of the leaders of the church. I stayed because of my faith in Jesus Christ. And I don't really care what anyone else says, but that is why I stay today, is because of my faith in Jesus. I stay because people are absolutely imperfect, and even though this person had a lot of power over my life and had a lot of hurt that came into my life, I know that for me, there's still hope because of Jesus. So PTSD for me started showing up when I had strong emotional responses to traumatic events. And when I say strong emotional responses, I mean like just a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of fear. And sometimes I didn't even recognize that I was having these emotions. Sometimes it was like I just literally would shut down and freeze, because I didn't know what I was feeling, and because what I was feeling was so big and so scary and so terrifying that I would just shut down because I didn't know how to handle it or process it. So flashbacks are one of the biggest symptoms that I have of PTSD. I have flashbacks to the accident itself, but I also have flashbacks to the horrible way that my mission president handled the situation afterwards, and flashbacks are not fun. They are terrifying. You feel like you're back in that situation and like it's happening to you all over again, and it can happen over and over and over again. And so having flashbacks is kind of like being stuck in hell to an extent, because you just feel like you can't get out, and sometimes it can feel like there really is no hope. My therapist found that I had a lot of these symptoms of CRPS and that I was avoiding things that triggered me, and I had numbness and just a lot of these symptoms of PTSD. And so she tested me for PTSD, and the test result came back with a very strong response of, yeah, you definitely have some PTSD. And not all of it is related to the accident or to amputation or to my mission. Some of it is related to other things in my life that I've been through, but I did want to talk about it just related to the amputation, because I think it's something that most people don't really think about. Especially like when people ask me like what happened to my leg, they don't always really think about the fact that it could be really traumatic to me. And sometimes it is kind of traumatic to me when they're like, what happened to your leg? Even though I really love being an advocate, and most of the time I do enjoy telling people what happened, it can be there are those times where it can be really difficult to talk about. And so I mean, sometimes I just wish people were more considerate of the fact that it may be really difficult for me to talk about that day. So like I mentioned before, I really do want you guys to know that there is hope and that there is help for PTSD out there. For me, something that has been helping and working pretty well for me is a therapy treatment called EMDR. It stands for like rapid eye movement, something or other. And it helps you really process the trauma in a visual way. And it helps you to look at all sides of the trauma, just like if the trauma was like a scary movie, and the more you see it, the less sensitive you are to it. And so the more that I experience and decode the trauma, the less power and impact it has over me and my body. I have hope in Jesus Christ, because Jesus is the one who can take something so horrible and ugly and turn it into something amazing and beautiful. And so this is why I still stay in the church. This is why I'm still an active, faithful member, is because I know that Jesus can take this horribleness and turn it into something beautiful. And I know that he's there. I know that he cares. And I know that if you need help in your life, and if you're looking for hope in your life, Jesus will help you too. If you like this video, I encourage you to smash that like button so I can be found in the algorithm. I encourage you to share this video with someone who you think might need it. And I encourage you to subscribe so that I can continue to grow the channel. It really, really helps the algorithm and my growth when you subscribe. And I care about my subscribers like individual people. You guys have no idea, but I love my subscribers. I love my people, and making videos for you guys and having this sort of conversation and community, it really keeps me going. So be sure to subscribe if you're not already. And if you would like to help in a monetary way for me to keep making videos, I have a monetary way that you can help us out so that I can keep making videos. And this way is my mom and I have been working on some journals to put up on Amazon, and we got a couple of them done. And so I will have some links in the description down below to the journals that we have put together. And journaling is a great way to help PTSD. And so I really hope you guys check out these journals that we've made and even consider buying one, because all of the royalty money really goes to us, and that helps support me to keep making more videos. So without further ado, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see another, click over here. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you. Bye!